Welcome friends! In today's video, we're going to be learning how to get on and off the floor safely and confidently. Getting on and off the floor is something that's very important functionally, just throughout our day-to-day life. It's important if you fall and you need to be able to get back up and no one's around to help you. Part of what happens is as we age, our muscle mass goes down and down. So it's extra important to practice strengthening and practice specific exercises that are going to directly help us in our everyday life. We're going to learn the best strategy, how to get on and off the floor, and then 5 exercises for maintaining that strength to get on and off the floor so you can go and do the things that you want to do in life. A couple things we're going to be using is either a couch or a bench, an ottoman, a chair, something that you'd go from sitting on, and we're going to use that if you need it for balance as well as a starting point for our exercise. Other than that, you just need some space. It's nice to do it on carpet or something padded. Okay, so the first part, you're going to find your stable surface and you're going to scoot to the edge of that stable surface. You want to make sure your pad is right underneath you if you have a pad. So what we're going to be doing is you're going to take your hands next to your body and we're going to take that leg, probably your right leg, and we're going to put that leg down, the knee down. You're lowering yourself down with your arms. So now we're in a half kneeling position. One hand can be over on your support surface if you need it. But from this position, we're going to come all the way down onto all fours. So using that, you have that supportive surface right next door if you need it. From this position, we're going to walk your knees out a little bit and then we're going to walk yourself down all the way onto your belly. So in this position, this is a really good place to start practicing some like moving around on your back, rolling from side to side, making sure you're able to roll around and move on the ground. So from this position, say we've come down onto our stomach for something, we're going to get your elbows underneath you, your toes are going to be tucked, and you're going to push up, pinching those elbows back towards your knees, all the way up until you can get back to your hands and knees. If this is very challenging for you, you're going to want to get your dominant or your strongest leg up front. And that's usually going to be your right leg, but it may be different for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to get that leg up and you can help it if you need to. Once you're here, we're going to use that stable surface again with your opposite hand. You're going to tuck your toe. You can also use your hand to push up against that leg, and we're going to stand all the way back up, inching that foot back underneath us, and you have that stable surface to touch down on. So going backwards from standing, we're going to take that leg back, knee comes down at the same time as the hand comes down, and then we're going to inch that leg back behind us again. Arm comes down, and then we're going to walk ourselves all the way down onto our stomach. Another good thing to practice in this position would be rolling from here onto your back if you had fallen in this position. So from your back, rolling over back onto your stomach. And you can even practice some log rolls here, and this is going to help you be able to maneuver around a little bit more while you're on the ground. Same strategy, getting those elbows underneath you, army crawling them back towards your knees, hands go underneath you. And this is a little bit more advanced step, or if for some reason you're out in an area where you can't crawl over to anything to help you push up on, what we're going to do is, again, we're going to take that strongest leg, getting that leg underneath you again, and then this time, tucking your toe, we're going to put both your hands on that leg, and we're going to stand right up, making sure you're safe and sturdy here, and then coming all the way up to standing. Another strategy for getting down all the way onto the floor, if you want to be in a sitting position, instead of going all the way down onto your stomach, what you're going to do is you're going to come down into the all fours position. You're going to put one hand a little bit farther out to the side, whatever side you're going to send your hips to, and then you're going to lower those hips down just right over to the side. So from this position, you can get your legs underneath you like this, one out to the side, or however you feel comfortable sitting. And then going back out of this the same way we got into it, bringing those legs over to the side. So we're ready to just tip up into a kneeling position, and then we can just tip right up onto our knees and our hands again, and we're ready to get back up the same style that we did in the other way, bringing that leg up, pushing onto it with your elbow or your hand, whatever you're comfortable with, getting that leg underneath you and standing up tall. One of the most important things with getting on and off the floor is taking it slowly and using strength rather than trying to just force through with momentum, because a lot of times that's when you're going to use a little bit too much, end up going forward or something like that and ending up back on the ground in much less graceful manner. So you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comment section. And now that you know the strategy and technique for getting on and off the floor, let's get into those 5 exercises that you can do every single day to help work on your floor recovery, getting on and off the floor comfortably. We want to get to the point where you can do it without even thinking about it. You can do it without worrying about not being able to get back up. For our exercises, we're going to start by breaking down that motion and doing it a few times over. So we're really breaking down each individual motion to help us get on and off the floor a little bit stronger and safer. So from this position, you're on your chair, your couch, or whatever you're using, and again, putting your hands down for support. You're going to turn your feet so they're about a 45-degree angle, like you're preparing to put that knee down, and we're going to put the knee down. From this position, we're going to stand back up, coming right back onto the surface. Turning your feet the opposite way, 45 degrees, up on your back toe, coming down onto that knee, using your hand here, your arm up on that surface, putting your bum back on the surface you started on. So we're just going to go back and forth like this, getting down, coming back up, making sure you're pivoting your feet as your knees are turning, and that's important to protect your knees. Going back the opposite way, maybe touching down on the ground each time with that outstretched hand. And you're really just pivoting back and forth. You're never going very far away from your stable surface. And you can repeat a minute or 2 minutes of these. You can count and do 5 or 10 on each side, whatever you're able to do without losing form and feeling out of control. The main thing is you're going to go slow enough and cautiously enough that you remain in control the whole exercise. There's the first exercise. The second exercise is going to be the next step down. So getting down into that position, we're going to get your leg underneath you to start this exercise. We're going to start in a tall kneeling position, if this is okay on your knees. From here, we're going to bring your hands down. You're going to walk your arms all the way out to your elbows, all the way down onto the stomach. Getting those elbows underneath you again, walking them back, all the way up into the tall kneeling position again. That was 1 rep. Working our way back down, keeping your core nice and tight here, and try not to let your back arch like that, but keep it nice and flat by squeezing your low belly, letting your hips come down. You can come all the way down flat if you want to in between each rep, or you can just go from your elbows all the way up. Tall again, staying nice and steady here, coming back down. Same thing with this exercise. You can do it for time a minute, time 2 minutes, or you're just going slow and steady the whole time. Do 5 times, 10 times, 30 times. You want to be feeling a little bit fatigued by the end, but not to the point where you're not going to be able to get back up off the floor at the end of this. Okay, the third exercise, we're gonna be all the way down on our stomachs to start. So going back to that down position, we're gonna go from here and arms outstretched, legs outstretched. We're gonna roll here and we're gonna roll all the way back. Rolling out, rolling back. You're using those feet if you need to help you. Rolling out, rolling back. Rolling out, rolling back. And you can roll in both directions if you have the space for it. And same thing here, time yourself for a minute or do 5, 10, 20 reps of the log rolling. The next exercise is going to be a modified push-up. We're going to be on our knees and we're going to start on our elbows. We're going to put those hands underneath you to help protect your shoulders. The hands are going to be about underneath the shoulders. From this position, we're going to press straight back up onto our hands and knees. And then from here, walking ourselves back down all the way onto our stomach. Again, placing those hands underneath you, and we're just pushing right back into the all fours position. Getting back down however you need to, putting those hands underneath you, and pushing right back to that all fours position. This is a great way to get back up if you feel like you're able to go past the army crawl variation. Knees pushing back up. This one may be a little bit more challenging, so maybe set that timer for a minute, 2 minutes, and just go slow and steady, however many you feel like you can comfortably do and safely do in that amount of time. The last exercise we're going to be doing is probably the hardest of the floor recovery series, and that is the standing back up part to the point where your feet are underneath you and you're standing again. So we're going to start with that dominant side up. We're going to try to do an even amount on both sides, and that's so that we don't just keep compensating and using that dominant side as our other side gets weaker and weaker. So going from that kneeling position, getting that right leg underneath you, and using that stable surface if you need it, if not both hands on that up knee. So from this position, toe tucked, and we're going to push up and we're going to bring that foot underneath you and stand. Going back down, bringing that leg back down and lowering. Of course, the modified version would be a hand over on your stable surface. And we'll do 1 minute on each side, or we'll do 10 reps, 20 reps on each side, depending on your fitness level and how you feel during this exercise. It may be different from day to day, so don't feel like you need to do the same amount that you did last time. You are just working to build your strength, get a little bit more stability. Of course, switching sides, going down. It's probably beneficial to turn around when you do the other side so that you have your stable surface on the opposite side as that up knee, and that way you have a foot down. I'll turn around and show you. So that way you have a hand on either side in case you get a little wobbly. You can put a hand on your knee, and you can put a hand on your stable surface as well. Alright guys, there you have it. The best technique for getting on and off the floor safely and confidently, and 5 exercises that go along with reinforcing that strength, that confidence, and that ability that you can do every single day. If you guys have any questions or you'd like to request a future video, you can leave all that down in the comment section. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Okay guys, see you next time.